Good morning, family. How you guys doing today? So, as you guys know, I started a new channel a few months back called the Dividend Passport Bro. Now, this channel focus on investing for retirement, traveling, living on your investment. And I was watching a video the other day, and then while I was watching that video, something popped up in my feed. Um, and I looking at it for a second, and this guy was talking about, if you don't have $10,000 in your savings account, you're broke. Um, and it was kind of funny because I'm like, $10,000. I mean, for some people, they generalize things. Now, let's say for somebody who have a monthly cost of living that is $10,000, $10,000 only gonna be good for them to live for a month. And that's for all their bills, like water, gas, food, and whatever expenses they have for that month. So it's a very general statement. Now, the good way to look at it would say, well, you need to have 3 to 6 months money saved up in like an emergency account, something as an emergency fund, right? Some people say 3 months, some people say 6 months. I do 3 months. The reason being, I feel if I was to lose my job or stop working, usually it takes about 2 to 3 months to get another job. So I say 3 months, but on the good side, it's 6 months. But with my cost of living, 6 months is a lot of money. So it would take a longer time to have 6 months. So I try to have that 3 months. And then after that, I don't really worry about it. I just put money into investment. But, and as you guys know, I'm a dividend investor and I'm a passive income investor. So I do dividend and passive income. The reason being is I want to retire early when I'm 55. I'm 51 now. I want to be fully retired when I'm 55. I call myself semi-retired right now. Um, but when I hit 55, I want to be fully retired. I want to work for nobody. I want to do my own thing as I'm doing now and do more of it. So having funds invested outside of those savings, those 3 months emergency funds is key because you can't live off of 10 grand or 3 months of investment. It's only 3 months of savings. It's only going to be good for 3 months. So after that, what are you going to live on? So putting money away into investment, you'd open up a one main account, which is your brokerage account. Now, within that brokerage account, you can open up a Roth, and you can put, depending on your age, you can put. I think now is 7,500 for people under 50, and if you reach 50, it's 8,000. So you can put up to, in my case, 8,000 a year. I can invest up to 8 grand a year. Now, keep in mind, because you put that money into that account doesn't mean it's invested. Now, you might get interest on the money depending on when you set your account up. You might get interest on that money you put in there, but you still need to allocate those resources that you put in there to different stocks in your portfolio. Your portfolio means the account you open and what you put in there. Now, that's the first account. Now, the second account that I tell people to open is a Roth, which is what we're talking about, right? A Roth. You put money into your Roth, right? Which is up to 8,000 in my case. Now, in your regular account, there's no limit. You can put whatever amount you want to put in there, and there is no limit. So, in your retirement account, in my case, it's 8 grand. In your case, it might be 7, 5, right? So you can put up to that amount and invest that money into stocks, SCSD, some Vanguard ETFs, those are some of the ones that I invest in. Now, I'm not telling you to go invest in those, but those are some of the ones that I invest in, right? And on average, in some cases, you can get up to 10, 15, 20% returns. It depends, right? Do your research. But you can get returns on your money. Now, in my case, I started late. I started in 2019 when I really started focusing on my retirement. When the vid hit, right? I started focusing on my retirement, and I realized, man, I ain't got crap. If I was to not be able to work tomorrow, like we wasn't working, I had a pay cut of 50% of my salary, and I'm like, man, how am I going to manage? What happened if this goes on for however long? How am I going to feed myself? How am I going to feed my family? So that's when I really started looking into investing. Now, like I say, you need those two accounts. When you put the money in there, then you have to go and choose the stocks that you want to invest in. Now, there's so many tools out there. I'm not one of those people who read the charts and all that stuff. I use different tools to help me invest in dividends, right? Dividend stocks or dividend ETFs. So as I was watching this video, I'm like, man, there's so many people that are so uneducated about money. And I was one of those people for a very long time. A lot of people will tell you, I made six figures, I make $75,000 a year. But if you ask them what they spend every month, they have no idea. Now, since 2019, I can go back to my computer and pull up my Excel documents that I have saved, and I can pull up money that I spend on everything since 2019 up until today. I track all of my spending. Now, some stuff I don't track, mostly like credit cards and stuff like that. I don't really track those to that extent because I can pull that. But I have other systems, other tools that I use that track those. They will tell me how much money I spent last month, how much money I spent this month. But manually, I go in and put in my credit card payments, my credit card balance. In most cases, I pay off the credit card balance every month, so I don't carry a balance over. Some cases I do carry a balance, but most cases I try to pay those off, except I got other things that I'm trying to pay off. So I know I'm jumping around, trying to get a lot of information in the short term, right? So it is important to track your expenses, right? It's important to track your expenses because I can go back from 2019 to now and say, well, for this month I paid this month for gas, and now I pay this month for gas, and I can average them out over the 4 years period, going on 5 years, on how much money I spent on average, right? And then you get to know, say, well, this went up, this didn't go up, this went up, that didn't go up, and that even for taxes. So it's very important to do those little things. Now, when you do it for so long, it become a hobby. It become normal that you just do it without thinking about it because it becomes something that is part of your daily. I log in to my brokerage account and check my brokerage account. I do it daily, but I just check it to see what's going on, what's going up, what's going down. Because sometimes I keep money in there. So if something goes down for that day, I would buy it. Because I'm not buying to sell later, right? These pay me dividends. This is what I'm going to live on later on. So if I look at something for that day and it's down and I have extra money in my account, I'm going to buy those. So that's the reason I check my account every day. Because I keep extra money in my account. So, if something is a little bit, I might want to buy 1 or 2 shares, I buy it. If I don't have enough money to buy 1 or 2 shares, I can buy fractional shares, right? That's why I like Fidelity. I use Fidelity. They did not pay me to say this, but this is what I use. I have Charles Schwab also. I use that account for when I travel. It's easy to pull money out of ATMs. They don't charge it. They might charge you a fee, but Charles Schwab is going to give you that money back. So I love that for traveling. I have M1, which is good for new people. You can set up your your account, and once you have a certain amount of money in there, M1 will invest for you. It's good for new folks, but M1 purchase things at market rate. So you can go and say, okay, well, I want to buy this. It's $5, but I want to pay $4.50. M1 is gonna purchase it whatever the market rate is. So it's good for beginners, but as you get used to it, learning more, then you can switch over. Um, Robinhood is another one. Is easy to use. It's on your phone. You can log into the web app on the computer and use it. It's very easy to use. Um, and the couple other ones out there. Mambo, I think is another one. Weibo. Now I have money in all of those, right? Because they offer specials. So I put money in those, $100 here to get the $20, $30 or whatever to give me offer at that time. And I just let it sit there. And sometimes it go up, sometimes it goes down, but it's not a big deal. You let it sit there, and eventually, you might get to a point where you need that $100, and that $100 is going to be $200, and you pull it out, and it's your money. So, but I said to say is, you need to invest in your future. You have to start somewhere. So you can open an account today, and you don't have to put money in that account today, but you can open an account today, and you can fund that account later on, right? Some accounts, I think, some accounts they require like a minimum of 100, and some accounts like for Roth with M1, I think it's like 500. I can't remember now. I think it's 500. But some brokerage, you don't have to put money in the account right away. You can open it up and put money in there, and what you can do, you can set up an automatic transfer from your regular checking account into your brokerage account. So you can do $25 a paycheck or $10 a paycheck, whatever you can afford. You have to start somewhere. So the main thing is to start, and it's very addictive. And once you start investing into dividend and see those 2 cents and 3 cents, that are going to turn to 5 cents later, it's going to turn to $1, and it's going to turn to $5. Before you know it, a few years down the road, you have $3,000 or $4,000 every year coming in from your dividends. Now, it might seem like, man, it's just 5 G's, but it's 5 G's that you didn't have to work for. And the 5 G's that you go to sleep, when you wake up, that 5G is going to be 510. The next day you go to sleep and wake up, it's going to be 550. And it's going up, and you're not doing anything. And all you got to do is whenever you have extra money, you put it in there and buy more. You buy more, And before you know it, within 3 years, 5 years, you have over $100,000 sitting there, and that $100,000 keep growing. They keep growing. So don't listen to people that tell you, oh, if you don't have $10,000 saved up, you're broke. Only poor people have that mentality. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm a thousandaire, whatever. That's what I say. I'm a thousandaire. But only people that think small would think that, oh, you need $10,000 in your savings account. If not, you're broke. Yeah, I got $10,000 in my savings account. So what? But it's there for emergency. It's there if I lose my job. That's the money. Now, if I have a flat, I'm gonna put that on my credit card, and when I get paid again, I'll pay it off. Now, if I can't pay it off, I'll be like, okay, well, I can pay it off this time. I'm gonna split that, and then the next time I get paid, I'll pay it off. So I'm not giving too much money back to the credit card company. So sometimes that's what you do, right? You have that emergency, something happened, you pull the money out of your emergency fund, right? So for me, I do things differently than a lot of people. I have an emergency fund, and I have a emergency fund for the emergency fund. So if something happened, like a car, I gotta fix my car. I know every year I spend about $1 to $2,000 on my car. So I put money in that, and that includes tires, batteries, whatever. I put the money in there, right? And I have my regular emergency fund for cost of living, the gas, food, all that stuff, and I put money in there. But my emergency fund for my car and stuff, that's a different emergency fund, because I know my car gonna have problems. I have an old car, it's paid for. I don't need another one. I sold my other car. I still got one more I need to sell on the motorcycle. So if you want to buy a Mustang, a 1995 Mustang, it's a classic. It's in the garage, And I got a 2003 Harley Davidson Sportster in the garage for sale. So if you guys want to buy that, hit me up. But so I have money set aside for my old Mercedes. It's an old car. It's paid off. I had it over how many years now? 14 years I had my Mercedes. Yeah, it's paid off. You know, like I say, every year I spend a couple thousand on it. Some years less, some years more, to get it working. And I don't have to pay no car note. I ain't got to press nobody. You know, so you got to live for yourself and invest in your future, because the money you earn today is worth more today than in the future, because everything is losing value. Remember that. So the more you save now, the less you got to do later, because that money going to keep snowballing. And before you know it, you retire. Now, the little money I got invested, I can retire today and move to Colombia. You know, it's not that much. It's about $18,000 a year coming in from my investment. It's not a lot, but I can retire on that money and live a good life in Colombia. You know, I have other investments that generate income also, apart from my dividends. And if you add them up, it might be around $25,000, $30,000 a year. I can live good off of that. But there's one thing keeping me in the U.S. and this family. Until everything works itself out, I'll be here. But God willing, within the next 5 years. Well, 4 years, because I'm 51 now. So when I turn 55, within that year I'm 55, I want to retire. That's the goal. So you got to work hard now so you can enjoy yourself later. Now the video it was going to be a 10-minute video less. Now it's way longer than I wanted to. So I'm going to stop here and we're going to continue this later. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Peace.